So yesterday, the huge news broke that CEO Elon Musk was going to fire 3,000 Tesla workers and let them go. And this made a ton of media attention out there. Almost every media outlet covered this. I covered this on the channel, and I felt like we all did a very, very poor job of kind of explaining why exactly a move like this was made. 3,000 workers at Tesla. Why exactly was a move like this made? I feel like we all did a very poor job. I want to get into the real reasons why Elon Musk decided to fire these 3,000 workers. There are basically 6 core reasons why he went ahead and decided to make this move. And I felt like even in his remarks that he sent out to employees, he didn't even do a very good job, in my opinion, of explaining that. And he shouldn't. He just kind of talked about the overarching things. And that's kind of your job as a CEO. But I really like to get into the details and get underneath the surface and kind of explain step by step why a move like this has to get made, because it's not just like one thing and you're like, oh, well, let's fire 3,000 employees. Like, it's a lot of things, okay? So first off here, a lot of people are getting confused, the 2018 layoff with this most recent one, okay? A lot of people look to that layoff that came out in June of 2018, where Tesla said it was going to cut about 9% of its employees. And people are like, they did that layoff at that time. Why are they doing another one? Well, that one was for a little different reasons, okay? In that one, it was a lot of salaried employees. It wasn't really anything as far as production lines or anything around Model 3 production or anything like that. From my understanding, a lot of those jobs were also in the solar sector, which Tesla basically has an energy side of their business and they have the car side of their business. They're trying to push out the energy side of their business for a little bit until they get to that point where they're actually, profitable enough to start getting that up and running in a major way. And they get the time that it takes to install one of those roofs, down considerably from now. They don't have that. So there are 2 very, very different layoffs. And, I see a headline like this that came out yesterday, and it really bothers me. It says, Tesla's layoffs mean the company's lead on electric vehicles could be ending, one Wall Street analyst says. And I just look at the facts, man. Just look at the facts. Model 3 did over 100,000 units in the U.S. last year alone, okay? It's just ridiculous to say anybody's coming in and taking their lunch, because it's like, who's coming to take their lunch? No one. No one is putting up any good numbers in the electric field at all. Is Tesla playing a game by themselves, basically, at this point in time? There are a lot of other companies trying, but there's no one having success. I hope there are going to be other ones that are successful in the future and actually move units, but it's not happening as of now, okay? So I just want to kind of dispel those things out there. People confusing that old layoff with the new one, and then people trying to say, oh, maybe somebody's coming to eat in their lunch. Who? No one's putting up unit numbers, all right? Reason number 1, and this was the only reason I think I covered in that video yesterday, and that has to do with demand. So first off, if Tesla demand was through the roofs right now, off the charts, basically you wouldn't be in a situation where they'd want to lay off any employees at all, especially anything in the factories, right? But if we look here, here's the situation at Tesla right now, okay? The Model S, that's a car that we basically started producing in 2012, and honestly, it could use a major refresh. I think they should do a major refresh on the Model S. I think something like a bigger battery pack, maybe some interior changes. Like, it's going on quite a while now. Model X, that's a 2015 model. I think that needs a refresh. And then Model 3, we still don't have the $35,000 model, which is what most people out there are waiting for that want to get a Model 3. They're waiting for that $35,000 model. We still don't have that. The Roadster is still coming down the road. That's not anytime soon. So if you're looking at Tesla right now, as far as demand goes, they have a couple cars that are, kind of older in the past and need refreshes, right? Model S and Model X. And then you have Model 3 that they still don't have the $35,000 model out yet. And so if you're looking at Tesla as a whole, it's hard to keep up crazy amounts of demand because there's only so many people that want high-end Model 3s out there, right? There are only so many people that want $100,000+ Model X out there, or $75,000, $85,000 Model S. There's only so many people that can afford those. So eventually you're going to run into some demand issues there until you can bring down price points a bit. So that's the first reason, and how they can get demand back up and running. Get that $35,000 Model 3 out, and then also do refreshes on the Model S and the Model X. That's going to push up demand, and obviously Model Y down the road. Number 2, okay, is productivity in manufacturing increases quite a bit. Basically, 2018 was the first time Tesla had ever had mass production of a vehicle, okay? Model S and Model X, you wouldn't consider those mass production vehicles. The Model 3 was a mass production vehicle, meaning that Tesla had to hire a massive amount of workers in 2017 leading up to the 2018 ramp and throughout 2018. And basically this puts you in a situation as a company where you might have a lot of tasks being repetitive in the manufacturing process, or you might just not have done it smart enough. Let's be honest. You learn a lot through the manufacturing process, and it's like when Tesla did its tent, right? When Tesla set up that tent, that was actually much smarter than what they were actually doing in the factory is actually a much simpler line. So as time goes on and you're in the manufacturing process, you figure out easier ways to do things. And this is what Tesla has probably, achieved. And they probably say, okay, if demand's dropped a bit, and then on top of that, we figured out better ways to do things, we can cut some employee costs here because we just don't need this many employees around. You get smarter. It's every manufacturing company out there. Their first couple years is when you learn the most and when you start getting the most cost savings for future years, because you just realize, oh, we can do this simpler. Oh, if we change this line to be here and move this here, it's a big change, okay? And you need less workers. Reason number 3 is a Tesla Gigafactory in China is now at this stage being built, okay? And this is supposed to be up and running at some point in 2019. And when I mean up and running, I mean partially up and running. Not going to be fully done probably in 2020 at some point, maybe beginning of 2021, we'll have to see. But needless to say, what's going to happen there over time is any Tesla that is basically sold to any part of Asia will be built more than likely at that Gigafactory in China, all right? Meaning that any workers that are hired to sell any cars into Asia at all, any Teslas into Asia at all right now, all those workers in Fremont and maybe in Reno, Nevada, or any jobs like that, they're just not going to be needed for the Chinese part of their segment or anything in Asia, because China, that factory, the Shanghai Gigafactory, is going to cover all of Asia. So that's a big thing to factor in, and Tesla's going to hire a lot of employees over there because they got a lot of demand they're going to have to fill in China and just around Asia in general. So that's something to take into account there. That's reason number 3. Reason number 4 is Tesla's going to be producing that Model 3 some part of the beginning of 2019, okay? It could be, sometime in March they could start producing. It could be sometime more toward May or something like that. But at some point in time, they should start actually producing that Model 3 that's a $35,000 model. Basically, here's the situation. That's a really tough cost point to hit, okay, for Tesla. That's not going to be easy to actually make that a profitable car. And basically, you've got to cut down the amount of workers. You've got to make it a simplified process, not only of all the parts and things you put into the Tesla, but as far as manufacturing the car, you've got to get the price down across the board if you're going to get out that $35,000 Model 3. So that's a big thing for the company. So Elon's kind of looking at this and he's like, if we're going to still be profitable and selling a $35,000 base Model 3, then basically we have to be in a situation where we have to be able to cut down workers and get more out of our current workers than what we have now. Because that's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. Sell an electric vehicle like Tesla has there for $35,000 base. It's not easy, and to be profitable, that's the main thing. Who can actually do that out there? I don't think anybody in the world right now can sell a $35,000 base model of any car that's electric out there and actually make a profit on it. It's a very hard thing to do. Reason number 5 is a Tesla Model Y is supposed to probably go into production at some point in 2020. Now, what do we know about Tesla? Every time they have to ramp up a vehicle, they start taking massive losses, okay? So here's Tesla's situation in this whole game, right? Tesla's in a position where 2019 is their chance to really make a profitable year, actually make quite a bit of money on that net income line. You're selling the high-end Model 3s into China, you're selling the high-end models into Europe as well, and you're still selling a lot of the high-end Model 3s into the US still at this point in time. So if you're going to have a very profitable year, you want it to be 2019, because if Model Y ramps in 2020, you're probably going to go and take some big losses for at least a few quarters. That happens every single time Tesla ramps a vehicle. I don't think the losses will be as big as they were with the Model 3, but I still think they'll probably more than likely take losses when they ramp the Model Y at some point in 2020. So if you're in a position where you're looking at this as Tesla's management, it's like, okay, here's our chance to really be very profitable, because 2020 could be a loss year, okay? That's reason number 5. And reason number 6 bothers me a little bit, okay? This is probably the one that bothers me the most. And it actually has to do with Elon Musk himself, okay? So Elon Musk, I did a video about a week ago or so telling Elon Musk to raise some money out there. Elon Musk is in this situation where he does not want to raise money. He's like refusing to raise money, although it's very easy still to get capital at this point in time. He's like refusing to raise money, and one part of it's honorable, but the other part of it, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, you could raise money so easy and not put this type of pressure on the company at this point in time, because here's the thing, eventually we're going to have a recession. Money will be a lot harder to get. If you're kind kind of looking for money out there, you can still get $1 billion or $2 billion pretty easily, and you can kind of get in this situation where you don't have to worry about, you know, stretching Tesla's boundaries even more, because we've heard from several people that they might have, Tesla's has some issues in service, Tesla has some issues in selling pre-owned cars and things like that. And you know, if they already had issues with that, you cut back 3,000 more employees. Like what more can you have of problems out there, right? And so I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Elon Musk right now, and I'm saying, man, yeah, like I would just love him to just raise that money, get it on the balance sheet. Heck, if you don't spend it, you don't spend it. I think it would just be great to add $1 billion or $2 billion more onto that balance sheet, raise a little bit of money. It's not hard to do for Elon Musk. He can pull it off like in a snap of a finger, and then you have that money on the balance sheet. And we know the $920 million debt payment might have to be made on March 1st if the stock price is not at 360. That's $920 million out of that balance sheet. In my opinion, Tesla should be in a position where they just say, let's raise $1 billion or $2 billion, put that on the balance sheet, and not put this type of pressure on the business in the short term, and focus this game more long term. That's my opinion there. Those are the 6 reasons on why a move like this is actually made. It's not just like it's one thing, oh, demand dropped off a little bit from Model 3, let's cut 3,000 jobs. There's a lot more that goes into it than that, guys. So I hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoyed me kind of explaining all those various reasons on why a move like this is made. I've followed Tesla for many years. I've been, you know, a shareholder for a much shorter amount of time, but I've been following this company for quite a while now, and I know kind of why moves like this are made in the corporate world. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit a thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.